Good evening, all my South Orange Maplewood listeners, and all those other listeners in the towns of Millburn, Livingston, Irvington, West Orange, East Orange, Orange, and Newark. Welcome to In the Village With Anselm on the South Orange Maplewood Online Radio Experience, and live on the World Wide Web at somore.org, and the only radio show covering all your news, opinions, politics, talk, and sports happening in the South Orange Maplewood communities. You can listen to us every Monday through Friday from 8 to 9:30 p.m. That's 8 to 9:30 p.m. And reach us at 973-327-3626. That's 973-327-3626 to participate in the discussion. We have a very, very, very interesting program lined up for you this evening, and I look forward to your participation into discussion. Now, tonight, we're going to do a little something a little different in the Village With Anselm and the South Orange Maplewood Online Radio Experience. I normally go through the different online websites, the different South Orange and Maplewood Township websites, and give you different information from those websites. And then I give you sports from what's happening in South Orange and Maplewood. But I believe there is a topic that needs time in order to be addressed. And tonight, I want to bring that topic to you. And I want to discuss that topic. And the reason why I think that's important is because of what I read in the South Orange Patch. And as you know, the South Orange Patch is very kind of scarce these days in covering information from South Orange and Maplewood. But this article is very, very interesting. And the title of the article is, Should New Jersey Opt Out of the Common Core Curriculum? Should New Jersey opt out of the Common Core Curriculum? Indiana makes waves as first of 45 states to denounce standardized curriculum. Yes, Indiana is making noises. Now, in 2010, the New Jersey Department of Education decided it will implement curriculum known as Common Core across its public schools. The curriculum, which is shared by 44 other states in the country, have been rolled out in stages in the Garden State, but has not received unanimous support. Beginning in the 2014-2015 school year, New Jersey will be one of 23 states and the District of Columbia taking part in Partnership for Assessment of Readiness for College and Career, better known as PARCC, that's PARCC, that will test students on their knowledge and ability to comprehend the Common Core. The testing comes with a course, and it is computer-based and has been forced into individual school district budgets. Just last week, however, Indiana made headlines by being the first state to opt out of Common Core curriculum and to set a vote at the end of April. In February, the New Jersey State Board of Education, when faced with growing mentions of an opt-out idea flowing through the state schools, approved a resolution reaffirming its commitment to the standardized curriculum. Now, for many of you who may not know what the Common Core is all about, let's take a little listen and a sort of a little background of the Common Core. So let's listen.
Education is quickly changing in the United States. It's hard for parents to keep up with what their children are learning in school, and it's even harder to understand the national trends in education and where they're taking our children and our country. I hope that today is the day that we will resolve to take ownership over the education of our children. So let's start by trying to understand what's happening in our public schools. Hello, my name is Jane Robbins, and I'm with the American Principles Project. I have a disturbing story to tell, a story about the Common Core state standards, how they were foisted on the states by the federal government and by well-funded private interests in Washington. We need to realize that the Common Core will strip our states of their constitutional authority over education. Parents will no longer be able to control or even influence what their children are taught. The Common Core scheme will ultimately empower the federal government to control school curricula in violation of 3 federal statutes. Parents need to know how Common Core standards will ultimately narrow the curriculum and prepare our children to be cogs in a national industrial system rather than full citizens in a free republic. Taxpayers need to know how the Common Core leads to national testing that will impose substantial costs on state and local school budgets. Parents need to know how the massive student data tracking system will contribute to the loss of student and family privacy. Citizens need to understand how this new educational direction will gradually guide the next generation away from our free enterprise system and into a managed economy. All this is supposedly the price we have to pay to ensure that our children are better prepared to compete in the global economy. Join me as I explain what is a very real threat to the United States education system.
Jane, I don't know too much about the Common Core. Could you just start by defining what we are talking about exactly?
The Common Core State Standards Initiative is currently a set of national common K-12 content standards in English language arts and math, ideally to be adopted in all 50 states so that education will be standardized throughout the country. The supposed purpose of the Common Core is to impose rigorous standards so that our students will be better prepared for competing in the global economy and to allow comparison of student performance among states. Common Core standards have currently been adopted by 45 states and the District of Columbia.
So what's the problem with nationally standardized content standards? I heard that the states work together to create these standards.
Common Core proponents claim that Common Core was led by the states, but this simply isn't true. The real drivers of the Common Core were the same advocates of a national school curriculum who have been around for years in various guises. They tried and failed to impose a national curriculum in the past. For example, with the national history standards in the 1990s, which were so politically correct and anti-American that they were rejected by the U.S. Senate 99-1. The national curriculum advocates learned 3 things from past failures. First, don't call the curriculum standards national or federal. Second, impose them quickly and quietly before the people and their representatives find out about it. And 3, don't start with a controversial subject such as history.
Now, just yesterday, the New York GOP governor hopeful blast the state Common Core. Republican gubernatorial candidate Rob Astrino says he will pull his children from New York's Common Core test this week, claiming the new academic standards are turning children into guinea pigs. The Westchester County executive on Monday released a video on his campaign website saying that he and his wife are protesting Common Core by opting out of exams this week for their children in the 3rd and 5th grade. Astorino calls the standard Cuomo's Common Core and says New York parents and teachers will lose local control over classroom. Cuomo has been a critic of the Common Core rollout. The budget being debated by the legislature Monday will keep Common Core test scores off the transcript of students in 3rd through 8th grades through 2018. And let's be honest. As a matter of fact, if you go to SOMO.org, we have a poll there asking you about the Common Core. Do you believe the Common Core should be implemented in the South Orange Mayport School District, although it has already been implemented, maybe there could be a voice or voices in this community to say, you know what? We don't need the Common Core in this school district. But remember how we always talk about how Millburn is an excellent school district and how many that our public school system should be tailored after what they do over in Millburn? Because we want to follow the best. And I think that's a good choice. Follow the best. However, about a week ago, resident asked Board of Ed to reject Common Core. This was an article in the Alternative Press. At Monday's Board of Education meeting, frequent Common Core critic Douglas Conde noted that 2 New Jersey Assembly bills seems to investigate the standard, and he's talking about the Common Core, and their efficacy in advancing students' progress. He also said 7 New Jersey Board of Chosen Freeholders have passed resolution asking for delays in implementation of the standards, and read a resolution from the Bergen County Board of Chosen Freeholders asking state education officials to rethink implementation of the standards and urging federal officials to oppose the standards. Conde added that Common Core and the accompanying PAARC, that's PAARC testing, threatens the entire kindergarten to 12th grade education system. And the standards are something very few people in Millburn know about. Now, I think we can say the same for South Orange and Maplewood. How many people out there in South Orange and Maplewood knows anything about the Common Core? How many of us? Do we have any idea what the Common Core is all about? Okay, I don't see any hands up. Not many people, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, the New Jersey State Department of Education, as was stated just now, they passed a resolution reaffirming its commitment to the Common Core curriculum standards back in February. So it's too late for the New Jersey Department of Education to go back on the Common Core. So why does the South Orange Maplewood School District have to follow the Common Core? The Common Core is detrimental to those kids that need the most help in the education system across the country. This is not just South Orange and Maplewood. This is across the country. And why are we even thinking about adapting the Common Core standards here in